Hello everyone, welcome back to another 9-rip video today. We're going to finally learn Seiya's story. Yay! And that may not seem like it with the upload schedule in on my channel, but it's actually been 3 days since I played this game last. I already had the last episode pre-recorded and scheduled for a release, and I threw Gil in there in between. So I've been really looking forward to this. I am dying to know Seiya's story. Hopefully it's like how he died. He doesn't really have any regrets, and it doesn't look like he's looking to cross over, so I'm very curious to know about Seiya now. Because every other ghost has, they've always talked about crossing over. And, well, Seiya has a job, so he's not crossing over anytime soon, right? But in the last episode, Misa was possessed, and I'm so glad that's over because I did not want to go through any more of Reiko's annoying voice, so we got that out of the way. Seiya was trying to get Misa to sleep, and she can't sleep because Seiya is too close to her, so he's going to tell her a story instead. And it was the story from when he was alive. I never knew my biological parents. The only family I ever knew was my adoptive father.
それでは行ってきますね。私が出た後、きちんと戸締まりをしなさい。いいですね。
So Seiya is adopted. That's interesting. His gaze as he spoke to me, it was kind, so warm. It made me forget we weren't connected by blood. It was the first love I'd ever felt. His gentle smile and the warmth of his large hands. Everything about him was so joyous. I couldn't help but smile just thinking about him.
はい、わかりました。悪魔払いの参考書を読んで待っています。
He's such a cute-sounding little child. I deeply admired my father, an exorcist who rescued people and took in a poor orphan like me.
せいや、私と同じ道を歩まなくてもいいのですよ。
But all I did was study fervently. I believed that being useful to my father was how I could show my gratitude to him.
いいえ、あなたと同じ道を歩みたいのです。僕はあなたのような人間になりたいから。
あなたか。私を父と呼んでくれる日はまだまだ先ですかね。
それは。
It was just too embarrassing. I couldn't bring myself to call him father. I realize now how foolish that was, but anyway, I soon became an exorcist at a very young age. And one day, my father was performing an exorcism for a woman possessed by a demon. I stood at his side as his assistant. Then,
この女はもう用済みだな。お前の方が魂をもてあそぶには面白そうだ。
the demon speaking through the woman directed its chilling words at me. Uh-oh. By the time I realized it, the demon had moved into me. It had shifted its possession to me.
せいや、しっかりしなさい。お前は強い人間だ。強き心を忘れてはならない。
My father's voice was shouting at me, but all I could hear were the whispers of the demon within.
天才と呼ばれるエクソシストか。お前にそのような力はないというのにな。
黙れ。
お前はただのまがいもの。いつも父にかばわれ、その功績を己のものとしている偽物よ。
やめろ。違う。僕は。
何が違うんだ？お前の力だけで救えた人間が一人でもいるというのか？
それは まだないけれど、でも僕だっていずれは一人で。
I don't know why, but it doesn't sound like Seiya. If I didn't know this was Seiya, I wouldn't recognize his voice.
できるわけがなかろう。悪魔に疲れるような弱き心のお前が。
僕は弱くなんてない。弱くなんて。
I didn't know how much time had passed. I was completely focused on resisting the demon's words from infiltrating my mind. It probably lasted for days, then eventually I came to, bathed in a beautiful light, and everything was over.
僕は助かったのか。
Glancing around the room, I saw it was in total disarray, likely caused by my possession. The table was knocked over, and behind it lay a familiar figure. The one I revered more than any, my father. As I cradled the limp body of my father, a wave of despair washed over me. His breaths were faint, and he seemed on the edge of death.
少しミスをしてしまいました。こんな情けない姿を見せるなど、父親失格ですね。
喋らないでください。今急いで人を。
自分の体のことは自分が一番わかります。私はもう助からない。せいや、ごめんなさい。共にいられないことを許してほしい。
そんなこと言わないでください。まだ助かります。
もういいのですよ。私は最愛の息子を守っていけるんです。これ以上の誉れはない。
嫌だ。行かないで。お父さん。
やっとそう読んでくれましたね。
Those were his final words. This life saved by my father's sacrifice. To honor him, I decided to continue working as an exorcist. Or more accurately, I attempted to continue. But I had lost all of my powers as an exorcist. I was completely useless. My hands trembled in the presence of demons. No matter how lowly and vile the demon, I was nothing but a trembling fool. Defeated by my own fear, I wondered how someone as weak as me could possibly help others. I feared that demon was correct. I am weak. Standing on a tall cliff, looking at the sky, I saw my father's face in the clouds.
私はあなたのようなエクソシストにはなれませんでした。
See, now I recognize his voice.
あなたが命を落として救ったこの身には、ただの弱き心しか残っていません。今、私もそちらに行きます。いえ、きっと会えないでしょうね。己で命を絶つ愚か者は、きっと地獄行きですから。そうして私は自らの命を絶ったのです。
Why do we have to start off the episode crying? I don't understand. That was his story. Seiya's voice was totally void of emotion as he spoke.
この首筋にあるあざは取り付いた悪魔が残していったもの。
You know, it's the first time that these marks have ever been addressed. I think Koyo had one on his arm. I'm guessing it's probably from burning. Hibiki had one on his neck, probably from the rope. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it has to do with how they died. Senna had one, but I'm not sure where it was. I know Kuraha had one too, I think. Either that or it was just on his clothes. I don't know. But still, I feel so bad for Seiya. Oh my goodness. Stop it. My battery's not dying.
これを見るたび、あの時を思い出しますが、あの悪魔を呪ったことなどありません。私が呪うのは私自身。あの時、私の心が強ければ、父を失うことはなかったでしょう。
I wish I could just tell him this wasn't his fault, but his expression, it told me there was no convincing him of that. When I first got here, Minami called Seiya a sinner, damned to hell. So you really were damned.
死後、己を殺した罪によって地獄で裁かれました。
Well, what about Hibiki then? Hibiki took his own life, but he's not in hell. I don't even know if he served any time. Actually, I think he did. He might have served time, because Seiya is the one that created his mirror world for him. And I guess Seiya just decided to take up a job and live here.
刑期を終え、自由の身になりましたが、
Oh, there you go.
私はそれを拒否し、地獄で働くことを志願したのです。
I guess I should just stop talking and let the story play. Anyway. Why? You must have been able to see your father if you crossed over.
罪人として牢獄に入れられている頃、改めて自身の行いを振り返ったのです。そこで気づきを得ました。エクソシストとしての矜持を失念し、父が救ってくれた命を無駄にし、自分勝手に死を選んだ。この愚かな行いを、たとえ父が許しても、私自身が許せなかった。ですから、私は己を許せるようになるまで、罪深き死者を救おうと思ったのです。私が気づきを得たように、他者を改心させられればと。とはいえ、これは自己満足に過ぎません。他者を救うことで、少しでも心にある闇が晴れればと思っていますから。
This was his second sin. I was going to comment on that too. Seiya had chosen to tell her the story. He mentioned this in the last episode that he wants her to accept him. I guess I'm more saying this to remind myself since it's been 3 days, but I guess he feels if she can accept him, then he'll be able to forgive himself. Seiya's pain was obvious. His voice, his movements, his expression on his face, they all spoke of his deep wounds. What could I say to him? I couldn't find the right words to say to him. No doubt, anything I said would be trivial compared to the burdens he carried, but still I wanted to ease his heart. Even just a little. Last time you made him feel better, you didn't say any words, you just held his hand. Seiya, chapter 7, you saved me. No save file, so thank you for telling me. Thank you for sharing that with me. I felt so inadequate, offering only these simple pedestrian words. Given the courage it took for Seiya to tell me all that.
顔を上げてください。
His fingers gently lifted my chin, guiding my gaze to his.
そのような顔をさせてしまうのなら話さない方が良かったかもしれません。ごめんなさい。
No, it's not that. It's... Why? Why can't I find the right words? I didn't want to see Seiya smile at me with so much anguish just below the surface. I didn't want to see him so pained. All I want is to cure his troubled heart. I wanted to bring peace to Seiya's heart. At a moment like this, Seiya would... Okay. Before we get too far ahead, let's go back. You saved me. Well, you saved me. I know, right? He exercised you. Seiya looked up, clearly taken aback. His eyes widened slightly at my words. You showed me what it means to have a strong heart when facing a demon. Without your help, I might still be in Minami's clutches. Worse, I might have died.
大げさです。当たり前のことを教えたに過ぎませんから。
Homage and Rika, then. Even so, I gently placed my hand on top of Seiya's. If helping others eases your guilt. I chose my words thoughtfully, trying to tell him how I really felt. Then maybe I'm enough. Maybe you don't have to feel guilty anymore. Seiya's usually calm eyes wavered and his hand trembled slightly.
許されたのは初めてだ。
I think she's referring to when he saved her from Reika. She said, if helping others eases your guilt, then maybe I'm enough. The fact that he saved her is what I'm thinking. I wanted to bring peace to Seiya's heart. At a moment like this, Seiya would. My hand reached out towards him. Allow me to do for you what you always do for me. My fingertips traced gently along his neck. You gonna purify his neck. I combed through his soft hair with my fingers, revealing the skin where the mark was, and then... Aww, I knew it. I kissed the mark.
Misa-san.
This is so cute. Please hold still. I pressed my lips to his neck. Much like he had done for me, softly, as if to wash away his sins. Seiya has paid enough for his mistakes. I whispered the words softly to myself. Not just for me, for all the souls he's led to find peace. Please forgive Seiya. May your sins be cleansed. I was unable to find the right words to speak. Even so, I hoped this gesture would convey my feelings to him.
私のようなもののために祈ってくださるのはあなただけでしょう。
I feel so bad for him. Was it wrong?
いいえ、そのようなことはないのですが。
Seiya shifted slightly. Looking up, I saw a puzzled look on his face, his eyes searching for something.
あなたのおかげで救われた心地です。ありがとうございます、ミサさん。
Accepting his words of gratitude, I slowly moved back. As I did, suddenly a wave of embarrassment I had been holding back surged up. I'm sorry for doing that so suddenly. I should have told him what I was going to do before doing it, huh? As I mentally scolded myself, Seiya's hand gently touched my cheek.
謝られても困ります。あなたは私を救ってくださったのですから。
His smile brought with it a wave of relief. I'm glad to hear that.
過去を打ち明けるのに少々緊張しましたが、話せてよかったと心から思います。あなたも心を寄せる相手がいるのなら、その方に自身のことを話してみなさい。
His sudden shift in tone caught me by surprise, but I soon realized he was alluding to my career path survey, and a rush of emotions hit me. Wait, does Seiya just hint someone close to my heart?
願わくば、あなたが話す相手は 私であるよ。そう願ってしまうのを許してくださいね。
That nearly sounded like he was confessing his love to me. Well, if you forgot, he kind of said that he loved you in the last episode. Right. Seiya always said things that made my heart flutter. Often his words were ambiguous, but this time was different. His feelings felt so clear, so genuine, I wasn't sure how to respond.
しかし、困りました。この心に浮かぶ葛藤、矛盾をどうすべきか。
I know, you gotta send her home now, right?
あなたをうつしおに返してあげたい。でも、ずっと腕の中で抱きしめてもいたい。
I'm going to sleep now. There you go, you got her to go to sleep. I quickly hid under the covers as if escaping. Usually I could just shrug off Seiya's romantic words, but not this time.
すぐに眠れそうですか？
He just called you out. He asked, and I peeked out from under the blanket. It's okay, I can sleep now. I wasn't sure if I could really sleep, but it was all I could say at the moment. And I can't stay afraid of falling asleep. If I can overcome that demon, I think I'll gain some confidence. It would mean I have a strong heart.
なるほど。それこそがあなたがここへ来た理由なのかもしれないですね。
Huh?
強い心に成長すれば、うつしおへ帰ってからも自身の抱える問題に立ち向かえる。神はそうお考えになってあなたをここへ送ったのでしょう。
That could be. Actually, Seiya's thoughts aligned perfectly with my own. The old me was always running from my problems. Yet with every escape, a fog clouded my heart, leaving me unable to truly speak my mind. Especially not to Mom. Reflecting on those times, my heart felt heavy. Unpleasant emotions bubbled up. They seemed to come from within me.
ミサさん、手を。
As instructed, I reached out from under the blanket as Seiya gently enveloped my hand in his. Ah. Though his gloved hand should have felt cold, I felt a pleasant warmth spread through me.
あなたが眠りについている間も、ずっとこうしていましょう。
No, he wants to hold your hand while you sleep. Thank you. Though slightly embarrassed by his touch, I found it comforting. I want him to keep holding my hand, even after I wake up forever. Oh, really? Why'd you tell him? I'm so glad you're here, Seiya. I'm truly grateful it was you who found me. Seiya smiled warmly and squeezed my hand tightly.
かつて父が人々にしてきたように、私もあなたを救いましょう。どんな困難が待ち受けていようとも、あなたのために戦うと誓います。
He sealed his promise with a gentle kiss on the back of my hand. I smiled back at him and closed my eyes. Sleepiness quickly overcame me and I drifted into the world of dreams. No, stop it. Yay! I was hoping we got a perspective. I want to see what he thinks now. As she slept, I whispered words of prayer. I prayed earnestly for her to overcome the demon that haunted her. Even if I had to continue this prayer forever, I would not cease. How could I do anything less for Misa Ishiki, the one who had prayed for me? My feelings for her now went beyond just love.
愛しいこの人を守りたまえ。たとえこの身が滅びようとも私は構いません。彼女の矜持を私へも与えてください。どうか彼女をお救いください。
I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't that, and that broke my heart. Oh my goodness. I have goosebumps. Anyway, The undies gnawed at me like a darkness closing in, a relentless nightmare that allowed me no peace.
まさか自分から俺に会いに来てくれるなんてね。
Oh, don't flatter yourself. She has to sleep sometimes. She's a human. Whatever. Minami, the source of the nightmare, wore a pleasant smile, but his presence was pure malevolence. Can't speak. Breathing grew difficult, but I kept going. I glanced down at my hand. Just that small action made me feel connected to him, easing my heart. It's okay, Seiya is with me.
あいつのことを思うとは気持ちが悪くてヘドが出る。
Oh, I'm sorry. I know he's like a romanceable character in the next route, but for now he's a villain, and I'm going to treat him like a villain. Yeah, right. I squeezed my hand tightly, and it almost felt like Seiya squeezed it back. Unable to speak, I spoke to Minami in my mind. I won't let you have my soul no matter what. It's so pointless no matter how often you invade my dreams.
へえ、随分と威勢がいいじゃないか。
Minami's sharp gaze felt as though it could cut right through me. The choking sensation grew stronger, but I knew I couldn't back down now. Facing Minami took courage. It took me some time before I could face him, but now I knew just how important it was to do so. Every event, every challenge, it all served to fortify my heart, to make me strong enough to face this challenge. With that thought in mind, I glared back at Minami. Suddenly, the suffocation eased.
聖夜の影響か。お前の思考はあいつのことばかりで読んでいられないくらいだ。はあ、興ざめだな。お前から興味が失せた。遊びもそろそろ終わりにしようか。
I wish he'd just leave me be.
何を勘違いしている。遊び飽きたというだけでお前の魂を諦めたわけじゃない。
Why my soul? I'm sure he has his reasons, but what could they possibly be?
魂と引き換えに教えてやろうか。
I'll tell you the reason if you give me your soul. Yeah, right. You really think I'd do that?
まあそうだろうな。ならこういうのはどうだろう。
Oh my goodness. His voice, man. Like, whenever he says that first line, it's like Yang when he's bartering with the MC and Pure Fury, which I have like right here on my desk. It's like right in front of my keyboard. I need to reread it so I can read the fan disc because I stopped after one route in the fan disc and I didn't get to Yang's, and I want to reread Yang's all over again so I can put in perspective the fan disc because people die throughout every route, so I need to remind myself who's dead when I go back to Yang's route. Anyway, sorry. How about we try this? Minami's sudden smile sent a shiver of fear along my spine. My anxiety swelled as I waited for his next words.
お前の大切なものと引き換えなら優しいお前のことだからきっと。
What could you possibly offer her, though? What does he mean by that?
さて、俺はそろそろ帰ろうかな。
Are you gonna hunt Seiya down now? Wait a second. The atmosphere around me shifted, like stepping out of a long, dark tunnel, and the oppressive air dissipated from all directions. Yet my heart pounded with urgency. Wait, we're not done here.
今は安心して眠れ。しばらくお前の夢に現れないであげるから。
I have a feeling Seiya is going to be in danger.
生きていてもらわないと困るし、俺も時間が欲しいからね。
Wait, please. Minami's form began to vanish. With him, my consciousness seemed to fade away as well, gradually sinking deeper. Into a tranquil world of sleep I descended. I was gonna say, this better not be a 30-minute episode, I'm gonna be mad. Waking up, I glanced towards the window and saw Seiya just as he was when I fell asleep.
目覚めはいかがですか？顔色は変わらないようですが。
His fingers softly sifted through my hair. The tenderness of his touch eased my troubled heart. Oh, we're touching hair now, are we?
少し顔が赤らんできましたね。いい傾向です。
I don't know. I find it adorable that he's comfortable touching her now. His gentle smile made my heart skip. It's because of you, Seiya. I know you're touching her hair.
どうかしましたか？
No, thank you for staying by my side all this time.
お礼を言うのはこちらです。あなたはいくら見ていても飽きない。
Huh? You were watching me the whole time?
ええ、愛おしいその顔をいつまでも眺めていられるくらい、あなたに夢中ということです。
He always say things like that. I wish he wouldn't tease me so much. I knew he was probably serious, but I had to brush it off as a joke or my heart wouldn't be able to handle it. I know, he's so cute.
それは聞き捨てなりませんね。私がいつまでもあなたをからかって楽しむ子供だと思っているのなら大間違いです。
Don't brush off my feelings.
私は嘘偽りなく本気であなたに夢中なのですよ。
Okay, I get it. Please stop. My cheeks were burning up and my heart was thumping loudly in my ears. All I could think to do was avert my gaze from his.
いいえ、やめません。諦めてください。
Surrender. Huh. He's being more persistent than usual. I've got to find a way to change the topic.
その様子では、南に翻弄されなかったように思いますが、いかがですか？
There you go, he changed it for you. Ah. The sudden mention of Minami's name shook me as I remembered the events of the nightmare and his ominous words. About that, there's something we need to discuss. After sharing the details of the dream, Seiya stood, arms crossed, deep in thought.
少しの間、夢に現れないと言っていたことが気になりますね。
He seemed like he was plotting something, like he had something in mind already. While it was a relief to know Minami wouldn't visit my dreams, the fact that I didn't know what he was up to made me feel even more anxious. I need to be strong. I tried to calm my shaking hands by clenching them firmly together.
ミサさん、いけません。
Seiya took my hand, gripping my hands even more firmly than he usually did.
この震えを抑え、あなたの心を癒すのは私だけの役目。それを奪わないでいただけますか？
Don't deprive me. His serious words made me burst into a soft chuckle. I know, me too. When did that get decided?
無論、勝手につかせていただきました。以後、お尻置きください。
Just now. I got it. I understand. In that case, I appreciate your help. Seiya's natural care and effort to comfort me brought a smile to my face. His laugh made my heart feel lighter, helping me to find moments of joy even in this dark place. I'm so grateful Seiya's here with me. But at the same time, I was painfully aware of how temporary the situation was. That's probably why I struggled to fully embrace the budding feelings I had for him. I know, man.
それで、南の企みですが、あなたの大切なものが絡んでいるのは明白でしょう。
I know, I'd be doing the same thing. Like, I really like you, but I just don't want to like you because I have to leave you. And, like, I have felt heartbreak before, for, you know, loving someone that doesn't love you. I know it's not the same, but not being able to be with that person is like heartbreaking. It's really tough. So I can understand her wanting to avoid that.
おそらくそれと引き換えに魂を要求するつもりなのかと。
I think this precious someone is going to be Seiya, and I feel like the bittersweet end. There's always one of those in these roots. I think it's I don't know. Like I'm scared to think about it. Her trading her soul for Seiya. I don't know. I think you're right.
その大切なものですが、心当たりはありますか？
Hmm. There are many things that are important to me. I know it could be her family too, but I have a feeling that since it's an Otomi game, it's a romance game, I'm thinking it's going to be her love for Seiya. Glance at Seiya. I know, right? And hell, probably nothing. Something Minami could get me to trade my soul for. I know, right, Seiya? Let's go check. This is a save file, so save it here. I could feel the glance, just her glancing at him. I could feel her hesitation. Glance at Seiya. Something precious. I quickly stole a glance at Seiya.
何です？
Really? Your hopeless romantic doesn't key into her gaze? No, just looking, that's all.
その割には動揺して。
I have a feeling my controller's gonna die during this.
まさか。あなたにとって大切なものとは、この私。
No. Of course not. That's impossible. Though it's true that Seiya is important to me.
そこまで否定されるとは。今のは少し、いえ、かなり傷つきました。
I know I laughed, but I think he knows her true feelings. I think he's just acting hurt. But if he isn't, I would feel really bad for laughing. Seeing Seiya look so dejected, it left me even more flustered. No, I mean, not exactly. I didn't mean to deny it like that.
否定されたことが違う。
Muttering this, Seiya's face suddenly lit up.
テレ屋さんとは思っていましたが、なるほど。あなたという人が分かった気がします。
It sounds like he honestly thought that she was denying it. I thought he was testing her to see if she would take back her denial. No, it's not like that.
これからはどれだけ否定されようとも、あなたを愛します。
Oh my goodness. He's so passionate. I will always love you. Well, you're trapped now. You can't deny it anymore. He doesn't care. What?
まあ、冗談はさておき。
Oh my goodness. Your mood swings are giving me whiplash, man. Now, on to other matters. So it was a joke. What's going on?
あなたにとって最も大切なのは、おそらく、うつしおにあるものでしょう。
You seriously think that after she looked at you? You mean from my real life? I had assumed it would be something in hell.
ああ、あなたは気づいていませんでしたか？これまでの会話の中で。南は人の姿を保てている悪魔ですから、うつしおで人間に紛れて悪事を働けるのです。
What? Seriously? Seiya did mention before that Minami could be quite difficult to find. So I should think about something from the real world. But even so, it's hard to pinpoint something precious to me that could be so many things. I mean, I can think of a lot of things that matter to me, but nothing I would trade my soul for. Even if I had all the money in the world, it wouldn't be worth more than my soul, right?
なるほど。あなたは物、つまり物体で考えているのですね。
What do you mean?
物ではなく物。人ならばどうです？
I felt as though a bucket of cold water had been poured over my head. The strength drained from my body and my legs began to wobble. Precious people? Could it be my mom or my sister, or maybe even Sayaka? but she didn't think about who whenever she glanced at Seiya. It's like she'd been hit in the face with a train with this realization. Oh my goodness. But that, I mean, I know Minami can't be wicked, but do you really think he's capable of doing something like that? I knew Minami could be cruel, and though we hadn't known each other for very long, I felt as though I knew him a little. The thought of him taking hostages, it was hard to picture him doing something like that.
これまでの南は忘れた方がよろしいかと。夢の中で遊び飽きたと言ったのでしょ。つまり、あなたと遊びたくてじゃれていたに過ぎません。これからは悪魔として接してくるはずです。いいですか？長年あなたの魂を狙っていた悪魔ということをお忘れなく。
Yes, but...
あなたは悪魔というものを分かっていらっしゃらないようですね。
Seiya sighed heavily, as if he was a teacher reprimanding a poor student.
あれらは決して善良になることはありません。善良な悪魔。そのように矛盾した存在は、この世にあってはならないのです。
His words were enough to convince me. Then Minami... Seiya nodded.
あなたと契約をするため、手段を選ばない。
He's right. As I mentally accepted the true danger I was in, I thought I heard Minami laugh menacingly somewhere in my mind. You know, every time it says things like that, and it fades into darkness, I always think the episode's going to end, because I'm just used to being left off at cliffhangers, so I'm glad that it's not over yet. But I mentioned something like that in, like, the first chapter, where she's, like, so trusting of Minami. I'm like, do you not know what a demon is? Like, even if you've never experienced a demon, I mean, they're written down in history books. They're written down in religion. Like, demons are not good. They can never be good. And Seiya just, there you go. Seiya hit the mark with that one. Anyway, except for the next route where he, I guess, is good or Misa turns bad. I don't know how that's going to work, but anyway. Listening to Misa Ishiki's dream, I did my best to keep my composure on the outside, but inside I was deeply unsettled. I hadn't anticipated Minami would go to such extremes. Yet as long as that entity within him remained, he shouldn't be capable of such extreme acts. There's something behind those words. Has something changed within Minami? Seiya knows something. What are you hiding? Then I felt our intertwined hands squeeze together. With a start, I glanced at her. She was gazing at me with a worried look in her eyes. I did my best to conjure a smile to reassure her.
ごめんなさい。少し考え事をしていまして。
I wonder if Minami is the same demon who possessed him. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I've never thought about that until now. She seemed about to speak, then quickly closed her mouth. I wonder what she wanted to say. Allow me to calm your nerves, Seiya. Her expressions so clear, so vividly betraying her emotions. You can read me like a book. Realizing she noticed my concealed worry, a mix of joy and unease filled me. It had been ages since anyone cared about me like this.
それなら、互いに寄り添い合っていきましょう。心の内にあるぬくもりを失わないように。
As I spoke, she shyly licked away, her cheeks blushing. Such a sweet, endearing reaction. I felt a gnawing desire to know her more, but we were destined to part. Thinking too closely to her, it would only put her life in greater danger. The thought alone filled me with fear, a sign of just how deeply she's captivated me. Oh, there you go. It was over just after the perspective change. Seiya. Seiya is such a nice guy, even though he's eccentric sometimes, but so So you hadn't anticipated Minami to go through such extremes. So he knows him in the past. As long as the entity remains in him, he shouldn't be capable of it. Has something changed in him? I am very curious of how Seiya knows Minami, because obviously he knows him on a more personal level, and I can't think of anything besides Minami possessed him in the past. Maybe he's changed since then. I don't know. Because because Minami knows him too. So Minami knows he's a sinner. So if Minami did possess him in the past, he knows that he killed himself because of his failures, and now he's in hell. And maybe Seiya is still hunting Minami. Like that would make sense to me. He said he has some time to reflect on his crimes during hell, and that's why he chose to stay here instead of leaving and being a free roaming ghost or whatever. I think it's Minami that, I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I think it has something to do with Minami and the fact that he is here in hell as well. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. If you guys did enjoy it, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.